Hi guys, a quick video around the different types of deal structures you can use when trying to buy a property development site or land or project. Now, in some cases, a straightforward deal purchase where you buy the land as you would a conventional property purchase may not work. And the reason why is that sometimes land is overpriced by agents or overpriced by the landowner, and trying to get them to realise that true land value can be quite difficult. So when you're appraising your deals and you look at a straightforward conventional purchase, it might make the deal unviable, non-viable to some extent. So I've got two structures or deals that I've used in the past alongside a conventional purchase, and these could potentially unlock more development sites for you. So I'm going to tell you what they are. Now, number one is a subject to planning deal. So this is where you agree to purchase a development site or development project or development land. You exchange before you have planning permission. So you exchange contracts before you have planning consent, and you complete after you get planning consent. Now, your solicitor will have to work out the technicalities in there, and you may want to delay the completion beyond simple planning consent to allow time for possible challenges to the planning consent, the appeal process, or maybe even a judicial review if you're quite unlucky with your planning consent. So again, reference your solicitor regarding the technicalities, but in simple terms, you exchange contracts before you get planning consent. You agree to buy the land at a price subject to you achieving planning consent, and then you and your team go ahead and get planning consent and complete at the agreed exchange price after the event of planning consent. Now, the second one, where sometimes subject to planning may not work, is a joint venture or JV with the landowner. Now, this can be created in different forms, in different ways, to allow for a JV to work. But in basic terms, to allow you to understand now, a way of creating a JV with a landowner could be that you get the landowner to put the land into the deal at an agreed price. You and your team go ahead and make the development a realisation. You go ahead and get funding for the development costs in the way of development finance. You build the development, and then you have a profit share at the end of the development. Now, again, there's multiple ways of skinning a cat when it comes to joint venture deals, but sometimes get your head out of the game of looking at straightforward purchases as the only option to buy your development site. And potentially you can unlock more sites by looking at subject to planning deals and by looking at joint venture with a landowner. And don't be afraid to ask the landowner or the agent if they want a joint venture, because the chances are, if the deal is unviable at a traditional conventional purchase, it's going to sit there for a long time. So, my experience, if you ask the landowners, they can be open to joint ventures if it unlocks the potential, if it moves the development forward, and if it gives them the reward that they're looking for in the future. So again, you can start this now, go back and look at your development pipeline, potentially look at those deals that are non-viable if you're looking at a conventional purchase, and just think outside the box, look at creative ways that you can unlock your development sites, projects or land by potentially looking at JVs with the landowner or subject to planning deals.